Okay, good morning. It's a fabulous Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the lair. Uh, had a fabulous 2.5 hour conversation with Travis, and James Stray Dog. Um, and that'll be coming out here pretty quick. Got to do some editing and had a couple technical issues, but it wasn't too bad actually. And I think we had a good conversation. We'll see where that goes. I think it only proves that I'm sincere in trying to have a real conversation with people about real things. So there isn't any gotchas or whatever. Although we had a lovely half an hour conversation after we stopped recording, which was raw and real, which won't be on the internet. The nuances of this thing. Listen, well, first off, this isn't the next three. So I gotta, like, you can't just keep turning up the heat or things melt. So I gotta let things cool off a little bit. Everybody needs to relax. Remember, these are just my opinions. And, if you take them too seriously, you know, I wouldn't suggest doing that, but everybody's got an opinion, and I have lots of opinions. I will, just as a quick point of clarification, listen, I don't know what Mr. Meathead's doing out there trying to expose me as a religious minded person, individual. Um, I have never brought that up. I never will bring that up. That's not how I live my life. Everybody's entitled to do whatever they want. I'm not here judging anybody based on that. There is a lot of misconceptions about my particular faith. Doesn't matter. As you know, I've been on this platform for probably 12 years now and have never mentioned it. Lots of people have ventured guesses. I have never confirmed it, but he thinks that that's some sort of soft spot, weak target, and it's simply not. I'm proud of it. I'm happy to debate anybody on it. I'm happy to have a discussion with anybody on it. I'm not scared of it. I'm not hiding from it. It's just part of who I am, and the lens or the filter with which I look at the world. And that's the end of that. Anyway, there's been it's got lots of DMs, and there's some significant messages in uh, the comments about software. And I think there's a misconception that I am an anti-software dude, and I am not. I mean, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm running a podcast. Like, clearly, I am a tech monkey. I'm not very good at it. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but software is an absolute necessity. I have my computer programming degree. I took it at SAIT before I started down my little plumbing path. Um, and so I used to, I mean, I don't do it anymore at all, but I coded. Um, I worked mostly in, it was back then it was DOS. I can't even remember anymore. CP or C++. That goes back a long way. So I love technology. I love computers. If you want to know something that very few people know, I'm like a gadget geek. I have every gadget that's ever been made. If it's got power running to it, I think it's awesome. So my contention with software is first on how they present it. That software is the answer to all your problems, and it's simply not the answer to any of your problems. It helps you organize your thoughts. It helps you see a quick picture, snapshots of what's going on in your life, and particularly in your business. I honestly have not touched a piece of paper as it relates to business or in any real way in 12 or 13 years. We use at Baker. We use our invoicing software, if you want to call that. Basically, our work order software is called Go Canvas. It's great. It's the one that I've used from the beginning, and the number one reason that I like it, and haven't changed to any of the new ones that have come out, um, is because it's not subscription based. I own my work orders. I own my reports. If I decided to shift to another software provider, I take all my uh, stuff with me. We talked about that a little bit yesterday with Travis and James. Companies, I shouldn't. I mean, I can't. We specifically talked about Company Cam, and I think it was House Call Pro. Travis uses Tradeify. I don't remember what James uses. Anyway, um, they own your, like, it goes to the cloud and they own it. It's a subscription based um, um, service, and I think that's a bad idea. What happens with, well, even what happens if it gets hacked, which is super, low risk, but um, if you have a discrepancy with them, then they own your everything you've got. And the reason that I obviously have a story of why I'm apprehensive about people owning your stuff. You can't see them anymore, but I have these big 8x4 aluminum Baker Plumbing signs that we used to put up at on houses that we did and all the rest of that stuff. And there's phone numbers on there. Um, and we went to uh, basically went to a company that was going to look after all our landlines, our cell lines, did all our internet, like it was a all-in-one solution. And we basically naively signed some documents. And those documents that we signed, I gave over ownership of my own phone numbers to this company. It was called Pinnacle Resources, Pinnacle something, Pinnacle Communications. I don't think they're around anymore. Anyway, everything was fine for a couple of years, and then, as everything does, you start looking at stuff. You're like, hey, man, maybe I can get a better deal. Like, I don't think I'm being looked after. I'm not happy with this. And so we went into discussions, and they went terribly immediately. And long story short, I said, okay, well, we're breaking our contract with you and we're moving on. And I want all my stuff back. And they literally said, we own all your stuff and we're not giving any of it back to you. And I thought, that's not even possible. And it absolutely was. We actually went to court to try and get my phone numbers back. And it just, like, the reason that we would have eventually got it, but they literally shut off my phones, like, just said, okay, fine, F you, and closed them. And so nobody could contact us for, it was about 3 or 4 days. And so we got new phone numbers and, did the big advertising thing and just sent out all our emails, we're whatever we couched it as. Oh, we, upgrading our service. So here's a new phone number. And it took about a year, but everything worked out fine. And that was my lesson learned, that you need to make sure you understand what you're signing when you sign up for stuff, because you may actually be giving up your rights, your ownership to your content, which is, lots of, I use WeTransfer quite a bit, and I'm considering not using them anymore because they just changed their terms and conditions. And they say, if whatever you send with through their service, they own. And lots and lots of companies are doing that now because they're using that to build their AI bots, and running all your content through these AI bots to to improve their little robots. Well, I'm not sure. All I'm really sending is drain cleaning videos and cammering of lines after, before, and after we do it. So there's like nothing what that would be considered confidential on there. But you should like it's getting crazy out there of what people are or what companies are doing, and company cam is one of those. Like, you don't, if you read the fine print, you don't own any of your pictures anymore. They can do whatever they want with your pictures, which seems innocuous at the beginning until you say, well, no, we're switching to, I don't know, who's the other one. I don't know, but they're like, okay, great. And you're like, okay, well, you took a serial number of a piece of equipment that you did a year ago, and you go back to service it, and you don't have that serial number because you don't own that image. You've sold it unknowingly to your software company. So I am not, let me just say this big and loud, I am not anti software. I'm not. It's an absolute necessity in today's day and age. You have to use software if you are going to run a business. And there was a couple of comments in there. Well, it's expensive. I'm like, yeah, it is. Some of those things get crazy, and that's where you need to make sure that your pricing model is sustainable, so that you can bring on the new technology to keep yourself sort of relevant and moving in the direction that you need to in order to be successful. Anyway, that is the morning with Baker, I guess. You've got to read the fine print, or you're going to get caught with your pants down. And I would encourage you all to be aware of that and educate yourself on your options, and figure out what's best for you and your company, for you and your business, because those decisions that you make, like I said yesterday, the decisions that you make have consequences, and you may not know those consequences until it's too late. Like my phone numbers. I had some great phone numbers too. It's one of those things that just irks me to this day. That those, from my point of view, they're absolute dicks and shysters, and took advantage of me and didn't fully explain what I was signing. But at the exact same time, I'm a grown ass man, and I signed it and didn't do my due diligence, because I could have opted out of that. I could have said, listen, I'm not selling you my phone number. You can move them, and it was called porting back then. You can port them to your new server, or whatever the hell it was called back then. Your new exchange, I think, is the right term. But I retain ownership. I could have absolutely put that in there, and then it would have been it wouldn't even been a conversation. But they used that as leverage to get me to um, remain with them. And we don't. People have asked if I sign service contracts, and I don't, because I don't want to. If you don't want me to work for you anymore, then just phone me up and say we're done. I don't need to have a lawyer on retainer to try and fight you to remain as your service provider. Like, I don't know what kind of relationship that would be if you're like, oh no, we won in court, so we still have to fix all your stuff. Like, I can't imagine that would be a pleasant work environment. So that's, I does again, doesn't mean I don't understand service agreements, or think that there's certainly times and places for them, but we just don't use them because that's just not part of our model. Anyway, as usual, these are my thoughts and not yours. I wish all of you luck out there, and I hope you all have a fabulous day. There's a few that I, think ought to be. I hope they have a terrible day, and everybody knows who those are. Let me again. These are my opinions, and if you disagree with them, you're welcome to. If you want to have a discussion about why you disagree with them, or maybe a different view, or maybe, as is often the case, I say things and you guys hear them differently than I intend them, like the software thing, and we can sort of dig into that a bit and try and understand better what the nuances of what I'm saying is. That's I want to be clear. I want to be truthful. I want to be um, understood of what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to do. Anyway, that's it. Got a busy day. Good luck out there, everybody. And see you on the other side.